Stop trying to hold on to what God is trying to remove. Stop trying to hold on to what God is trying to remove. I'm kind of afraid. I'm afraid to come out of this isolation. I'm afraid of some of the conversations that I have to have with some people. Welcome back to my channel. So I just tried to record this entire video, forgot to turn my mic on, so there is absolutely no audio. And I have almost 20 minutes of footage, so I'm still gonna go ahead and push through, small setback for a major comeback. Let's go. So in today's video, I kind of want to reflect more on my isolation time. This time of isolation that I've been on while I'm growing my relationship with God. I can honestly say that now that I'm in it and I'm going through it, now I can understand God was trying to put me here years ago. It was a few years back. He's been trying to put me in this place of isolation. And the reason that I know is because I would be in environments that I wasn't comfortable in, or I'd be having conversations that I'm just like, this doesn't interest me anymore. I don't want to talk about this, or this doesn't make me feel comfortable. And what I'm realizing now, it was conviction. The reason that I shouldn't have been in those places or doing those things or around and having those conversations is because God was changing me. It was time for me to come out of my old ways in order for Him to prepare me for my new and for the direction that He's taken me in. I have all of these goals, and one thing that I've been realizing is I sit out and I do all this planning. One of the biggest things that I have an issue with is perseverance, and that's me pushing through to the end to see what the end is going to look like. And this time during this process, I've been so uncertain about what it is I should be doing, because I've honestly asked God, where do you want me to go? What direction do you want me to go in? How do you want me to serve your people? What kind of impact can I leave? And He wasn't revealing anything to me. And I felt like He had me in a place of stillness. And I wasn't paying attention to it. I wasn't adhering to it at first. And I kind of struggled with it and battled with it. But once I've gotten into it, what I'm realizing is where He's taking me, certain behaviors and characteristics that I possess, I can't take them there. Certain people that are in my life, they can't go there with me. Certain environments or situations that I was putting myself in, I'm no longer going to be a part of those places where God is leading me. So in this time of isolation, a few years back, I remember I sat down and I categorized my friend groups. And I had to realize that certain people are there for a good time. They're meant for you to go hang out with, have fun with, go party with. There are some that you can call on when you may be going through something and you just may want to talk it out, because hopefully you have those people that tell you what you need to hear, as opposed to just those that tell you what you want to hear, because you have some like that. I don't know if it's because they don't feel like you can handle the truth, or if they feel that's just in them. It's in them to be a genuinely good person. They feel like that's them being kind by telling you only the nice things. And then you also have your group of friends that are, or that one or two people that you can call in a time of need when you need to pray. When you need that prayer warrior on your side, you know who you can go to. And as I've been in this isolation time, I know what groups need to be eliminated and what people maybe need to move to a different group. And that's okay. Like they say, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or some for a lifetime. And everybody is just not meant to go with you where God is destined for you to go. And I'm not just talking about outside people. This can be within your family as well. There are people in your family that you've been fighting to hold on to them, and God been showing you that I got you. You don't even have to worry about it. You trying to put someone in a place that I already hold down for you. Be certain in knowing that His will is so much far greater than the will of the world and the will of man. And sometimes in isolation, you go back and forth with what you have to let go and what you're trying to hold on to. Stop trying to hold on to what God is trying to remove. Stop trying to hold on to what God is trying to remove. You may not see why He's trying to remove that person, that thing, that place, that circumstance, but it'll all be revealed to you when He needs for you to see it, when He needs for you to realize the reason for it. We have to completely let go of all doubt and completely submit to Him. As long as we're riding that fence, our mind is riding that fence. And isolation gives you the time to be able to focus on who is important, what is important, and prepare for what's next. And as I stated, I've been changing. I've seen the relationships around me changing. I've also seen my behaviors changing. Now, one of the biggest things for me was hard liquor. I've been drinking alcohol a long time. And me being an introvert and a loner and a person who fears rejection, in order for me to be at a party or a big gathering or something like that, I need to be drunk. I need to be intoxicated. I mean, I'll tell you, the person that walks in the club sober and the person that I turn into after some drinks is two totally, completely different people. And when some situations happened a few months ago and God took that away from me, I was okay with it. Like, I'm okay with not being that person anymore, because not only, yes, that person has confidence, but that person also has a temper. That person is very defensive. So I have to let that person go, because the person that I genuinely am, I was born in July, so I'm a July baby, and I'm kind of sensitive, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to come across as that hard, that hard individual. I will say that a lot of this came about when I was in elementary school, because I was picked on, I was talked about. So I would go home, remember the things that they said to me, and I would practice my comebacks for the next day. Yeah. So yeah, I became real good at comebacks. I'm real good. I don't start stuff, but I was real good at being at defending myself or defending somebody else. And while I'm in this isolation and I'm thinking about the next phase and the next chapter God is leading me to, I'm kind of afraid. I'm afraid to come out of this isolation. I'm afraid of some of the conversations that I have to have with some people that have not gone through this process with me and may not know who I am today as opposed to who I was. I'm afraid of going into environments and, not being able to be confident in those environments and be comfortable in those environments, because I feel like that shell or that guardedness that I carry with me everything about it was kind of negative, and me changing over to more of a positive Jasmine, I just want to be sure that I show up as the person. I want to be sure that people see who I genuinely am. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to me showing them this facade or this person or this side of me as a shield of protection from who I genuinely am. So, this isolation, it's been difficult, but it's been so enlightening. And I realized how necessary it was in order for me to make sure that I'm focused and hearing what it is God wants from me. I had to remove myself from people, places, and things. I really had to remove some things from my life. And I'm just, like I say, I'm in a place where I'm kind of nervous. I'm nervous to step out there again. I'm nervous, but I have a sense of peace about me, only because I know that whatever chapter is next or whatever is going to take place next in my life, I know it's going to be according to God's will and not the will of the world. So I have this sense of peace. I'm not crystal clear on this journey. I'm getting bits and pieces along the way, and I have to be receptive of the bits and pieces that I'm getting, and not be so anxious about what I'm not getting. I feel like I've been praying and asking God for a certain thing, and I'm not hearing from Him, and I finally had to realize that non-hearing, what you're not hearing, is your answer. Just be still and wait on Him. So it's a lot of growing in this time frame. I took a day off from work this past week to just have a day to myself and to just try to let go of some of the things that's been overwhelming me or kind of burdening me that I haven't released. And I went to a state park and I just sat outside and I was able to pray, journal, read, and just listen and just sit still. And so much reflection came just from me doing that. And I realized the importance of me getting back to the things that I enjoy doing. So I'm thinking about getting an annual parking pass and start going to a couple different state parks a month, because it'll open me up to be able to park at all of them. And just being outside, I love water. I'm a July baby. So for me to just sit by the lake and listen to the water, it's something just so calming and peaceful about being able to just listen to water. And I was able to walk down by the waterfall and just that environment. Like when I have bad allergies and stuff and the pollen is out, but I was able to inhale and exhale and I felt no congestion. I just felt this, this sense of peace. And I think if I wouldn't have gone through this period that I've been going through and making these adjustments in my life and making these changes, I wouldn't be able to appreciate it. I appreciate everything God is doing. I made a lot of decisions about some things I need to do in terms of my life, because I have to remember what's important. I prioritize success, but my number one focus or my number one goal is always my family. They're first in everything. And I've realized that some of my actions or the decisions that I've made over the past few years, I didn't put them at the top. And I know everybody talk about a part of starting a business is knowing your why, but you need to be crystal clear on that why. And you need to make sure that focus And that why is always at the forefront, because it's what's going to keep you on track. It's what's going to keep you staying through the difficult times. And now that I have the realization and I know what my number one is, I know that there are some things that I need to change. But in order to make those changes and make those adjustments, some other things in life have to take place. So I get where I am now, but I found peace and contentment in knowing where I'm going, because I know that my heart posture is in the right place, and I know that my focus is in the right areas, and I know the direction that God wants to lead me. Now, how He wants to lead me that way is still a little gray, but I'm gonna lean and trust in Him. And what I'm realizing on this YouTube channel, I come up with these topics, and I sit down and I write out these scripts and write out these outlines and stuff. But honestly, when God gives me a message or a topic, I can just sit down and I just talk. Yes, I may stumble over my words sometimes. I don't have the perfect speech for some, but it's genuinely coming from me. And I feel that when I'm able to depict and give a honest reflection of who I am, I feel like when I'm able to do these videos and just talk, you all better get a insight on who I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I want my subscribers and anyone who comes to this channel to be here and come back and stay, because they genuinely feel like I'm somebody that, they want to listen to or they want to get information from. Not because I'm putting on this facade and I'm talking about what everybody else is talking about, or I'm on the trend, talking about the biggest trend, I'm talking about the biggest wave, or this is what everybody want to do. No, I'm genuinely walking through life. I'm genuinely on this journey with strengthening my relationship with God, and I honestly just want this to be a safe place. I want to build a community of like-minded individuals where we can have these conversations with each other, and we're not judged and we're not critiqued, and we feel comfortable with being able to just show up and just be who we are and just talk about it. Because there's so many places, it's so many people out there, especially during this isolation time, that you don't feel like you don't know who to go and talk to. You don't know, you just don't know who you should go and talk to, or when you do have things on your mind, because of course you can always go talk to God, but you also want to speak with somebody that that they may be having some of the same difficulties you have, and they can talk to you on how to get through it, or maybe they've accomplished something else in their life and they can help guide you through it. So it's good to actually have that supportive system network around you. And my YouTube, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I want to build a community of ladies that are on this journey. We're living this life. Life is throwing us curveballs, but we are genuinely trying to live and not just exist. And we're going to go through challenges, and we're going to go through hard times and difficulties, but I want to be, I want to go over those experiences with you all. I want to tell you how I got through it and how I'm looking forward to what else God has in store for me. And I'm not lingering there, because sometimes you get stuck in these ruts and you don't know how to get out of it. But when you can get the advice of somebody else, or hear how somebody else overcame, or how somebody else got out of it, then yeah, you know what? I am going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. They got through it. I can get through it too. Let me try that. Or if I can't try it that way, let me try to do it maybe this way and see if I can get through it. So thank you all so much for coming and tuning into this video. If you made it this far, if you're not currently a subscriber, I would love to have you here. I'll be having more faith-based content where I'll be discussing personal life, personal growth, business and career, as well as our finances. If this is information you'll be interested in, go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you think that there's someone out there that can use this information, go ahead and like it so it can show up in their feed, or share the link with someone. And if you want to further this discussion, go ahead and leave a comment below and we can talk about it. And thank you again for tuning in to this video, and I'll see you in the next one.